Hey guys, we are here for our last week of our gold mastermind. So I am here with these three beautiful diamonds, and we are going to talk about a skill that's very necessary for your business and one that you will, well, several that you're going to continue to develop and grow in as your journey continues and as you rank up and everything. So we're going to start with the things you need to know as a gold and as a senior gold and as someone who's getting close to Ruby wherever you are. We're going to take it right back to the beginning, and that is belief. So you notice we asked on your homework questions about creating business builders, about creating workers, how to get people to run and do this thing with you so you have some residual income, and just so you have that excitement of having someone under you. That some of my favorite messages to get are like, oh my gosh, I got a level 2 or I got a level 3. And any of you guys who have experienced that know how fulfilling that is. And you can kind of get a bigger picture of, you know, what diamond will look like when you get these joins and you don't even know who this person is and you get to know them and you didn't do anything really except for support your level 1. So that is the beauty of network marketing. And we're going to talk about that tonight, how to get business builders. And the first thing is you have to have belief and passion. So do you guys want to touch on that?
I remember the first time, like you just said, when I had like that email come through and there was names on there that I didn't even know who they were in terms of the person even doing the joining, the sponsor. So that's a bigger picture. That's the difference between running a sales business and you having to work your way through every milestone, every rank up, and doing it alone and having to like foot that on yourself each month. And the difference between building residual income, building a legacy business, something that you are a part of with many, many, many people, and that compounds. So the bigger picture is you guys aren't, you're not doing it so much where you're going to have so much work as a diamond, because how do you keep track of all these many people? But you are working with your level 1s and you're teaching them and they're working with their people. So creating business builders in this whole thing, we wanted to touch base on belief and passion because it starts with you. Your passion is what is contagious. Your excitement when you talk to people, when you're excited about what you're doing and you are excited about where you're going, then that people can catch that. You don't have to have every answer in the book to every single thing. Everything is figure outable, but you can have that belief and that passion and the excitement to be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. You can do it with me. Like, let's go together. And that goes a long way. But the big picture is sometimes that confidence, at least for me, I didn't necessarily have the biggest amount of confidence in myself at the beginning at all. And that didn't just come. And then I was okay finding people to do this with me or sharing. That didn't come after I magically found this confidence in myself. That came after I did the action and I did the things afraid. And then, the belief I got built into me from my upline from Tiffany and Phallin. And as I helped people get started, as I helped them have victories or helped them go silver and then gold and then help somebody else go silver, that built my confidence. That built my belief. And all of that came after I took action and moved forward with those things, which is a really important piece.
Yeah, I would say too, like, and if you guys are on this call, you're gold, you're senior gold, you're somewhere in that level, right? And so my guess is that you've had some confidence in this. I mean, you've probably been posting, you've probably been messaging people. You don't get 20 joins by doing nothing, like not talking to anybody. So you have some level of belief and confidence here, and you've been doing the action. So keep doing it. Like there's no secret sauce to like finding there are some things that you have to do and we'll get to that, but you have to just keep doing what you're doing. If you're still not super confident yet, or don't have that 100% belief or whatever, keep doing what you're doing until it comes. It will happen, and you'll just get stronger and more belief and more confident the more you do it. We were all scared. Like posting the first time, I remember going, and like, well, we'll see what happens. And then you just, every post that you do, I still sometimes will put posts out there that, share my heart, and you just don't know how people are going to respond. And it's scary to put yourself out there and be vulnerable, but the more you're vulnerable, people respond to that, and so it's really important that you continue to show up and add value and just keep doing the things that got you your 20 people. Do it again and do it again. And the big thing is to show your people how to do it too. And that's where that kind of action is what then propels you forward. But you've got to have the belief that you already did it, so you can keep doing it and you can help your people do it, but you have to do it.
Yeah. And I don't really have much to add to that. I agree with all of that. And I think, ways to build your belief and passion are to get involved with team calls, get involved with book clubs, any other calls that you can be on, reading books, reading testimonies, reading all sorts of things. Those are ways that we all built our belief and our confidence. And the more you do that, the more confidence you're going to get. And it's scary at first, like Chris said, but the more you do it, the more confident you get. And so it's important to not let that fear get in the way, because it is scary. Yes, we totally understand. We were all there. It is scary to do that. But if you let that fear stop you, then, you're not going to move forward. You're not going to create business builders, and you're going to not be able to coach level 1 who wants to go to diamond. How are you going to coach her or him? If you can't take the fear and squash it and just do it, that's not going to be duplicated either. So it's just really important to find ways to build your belief and your confidence. And that is how you do it. Just doing the things, no matter what, like not getting in your head about it. Just do it.
Yeah. In order to ask people to follow you or to do this with you, you have to know why you are doing this and where you are going. So sometimes the team that gets you to gold or ruby or emerald won't get you to diamond, and sometimes it does. You don't know which it's going to be. For me, it did. And I recruited all of my top leaders when I was stuck at gold. I had been there for 2 years. They didn't know that. They didn't care. Maybe they asked, but I was just like, you don't want to hear about me. Let me tell you about her, because that's what we're going to do. And that's where we're going. I remember telling that to Tiffany, and she's like, okay, like you don't have to focus on where you are at today. And maybe it's a little intimidating. Like, gosh, why would someone want to follow me? I'm a gold, and they have all these diamonds that they could choose for a leader. They're choosing you as their leader because they love you, they respect you, and they trust you. I have people that love me, and then I have people that hate me. It's okay. It doesn't matter. But the people who have chosen me as their leader have chose me because they trust me. We're going to talk about that a little bit, ways to build trust and to build your influence with people. But all you have to do is ask people to come and do this with you. So you guys have an advantage that diamonds don't have. We can't really say, come and do this with me, because we have arrived, or they think we have arrived. But you guys get to go through it together, and you're on the same page and you're building together. It creates a really strong culture for your team and just this sense of camaraderie and community. And so we can still do that as diamonds, and we do, but it's way simpler to do it at gold. And it's not all about how much you know. It's literally just come and do this with me. So one of the biggest things that we see is, people are afraid to post about the business opportunity. They don't want their friends to know that they're making money, which is so funny to me, because if someone's cutting your hair, like if you're cutting your friend's hair and you're like, well, I don't want her to know I'm making money. Like, that is so dumb. Like, of course she knows you're making money. She's paying you. If you are in sales or you're in network marketing, People know that you are making money. People are posting links all over Instagram, which is where I do most of my shopping. I see these little mom hearing aids that everyone's buying right now to tone down the decibels of how loud their kids are. Those are from Instagram ads. I have piles of stuff on my floor from books that people recommend on Instagram and different health things and different food items. And this is normal. This is what people do. So it's not something to be afraid of or ashamed of. And it's okay to make money. So a money mindset, we talked about this with the Rubies, and I'm just going to do a quick plug for Dave Ramsey's book, Legacy Journey. Super good. Really will help you with that aspect. But your posting is going to be so important. And that's what we're going to talk about now, because if you message someone about the business or you ask them to do this with you or say, hey, you should do this with me, they're not going to have a point to reference if they haven't seen you posted about the business. They're like, do what? Like, what do you want me to do? Sell a pink drink? They don't really understand what you're doing, and they don't fully know your heart. You would have to write a really long message to share all of that with someone. So if you can drip that to them through your advertising on your social media feed, that is definitely the key. And then you'll have people coming to you as well about the business. So one of the first things is being bold. You have to be bold in your posting and confident. You have to be confident. You have to be consistent. You want to do it at least once a week. 2 times a week is good. Maybe once on your wall and then once in your stories. And it doesn't have to be anything amazing. If you made $200, that is a big deal for a lot of people. I mean, that's all I needed. That's why I started Plexus. I literally just needed to pay my electric bill. $200 would have done it. So I didn't have to keep asking for money or loans. So $200 is a big deal. Post about those things, that you could buy groceries, or you could get a pedicure, or do something for yourself or your family.
Yeah, own where you're at. So sometimes it's you measure your level of success, and I don't know where you guys feel. You can comment below if you feel successful, but you should feel successful. If you've gotten to where you're at, that's a level of success so far. So just because it doesn't mean you're not successful until you hit diamond, right? So own where you're at in what you are making for income right now. Like what Phallin said, is what someone needs, what some people really need. So that might be, whether it's to help pay a bill or whether it's just extra spending cash for fun. That's a big deal. So those are things you can post about, but also, like Phallin said too, with, oh, don't pay attention to where I'm at. Like, this is where she is. This is where I'm going. So there's 2 levels. You can share where you're at and the great things that have come from that, but don't forget to share about where you're going, right? The bigger picture and what you're excited about. So those are all the things that you can post about, and about stories and things like that. And if you need to build your influence and build your network, which we all certainly do, then that's something that you can be proactive about. You can specifically do things about. So you're adding value to other people in your posts. So finding other things outside of even Plexus that you can add value in, things that you're interested in, commenting on people and engaging with other people, other friends. And then you build trust by being consistent. So you're going to build trust by not being flaky and in and out, or, showing up consistently. And remember, posting is part of your follow-up process too. So when you reach out to people and you say you need, all these touches, all these follow-ups to be able to close on some people, they're not all going to come after one message. The follow-ups come in messages, but posting is another form of follow-up as well, because people are absolutely watching. I can't tell you how many people who joined me that were like, yep, when you posted about that, that's when I was like, yep, I'm ready. And someone else, it was a different post, so they are watching. And people that for however long that they've been following you, that can be part of your follow-up process as well. So that builds trust with your people, and you build influence, and you can absolutely expand your network on social media. That's the beauty of it. No matter on where you start in the beginning, right? I started with 100 and something Facebook friends, very, very minimal network, about to cancel my Facebook account. So don't let anything like that prevent you from moving forward in how you're portraying your business and your confidence and your excitement in
Mhm.
where you're going.
Mhm. And if you need inspiration or ideas on what to post, look at other successful people in Plexus. Look how they're wording their Plexus business posts. You know, kind of, I mean, don't copy and paste necessarily, but use the same format, use the same idea, just make it personal to you. But check out those posts to give you inspiration and ideas. And you can use us as examples. You know, if you put one of our diamond docs in the comments, you know, the link to it or whatever, but you have got to be posting about the business if you are in this to go to the top and want to raise up leaders, you know, because that's where you're going to get them from, posting about the business and the benefits of the business. So you can look to other people and top successful Plexus people in, you know, when you need ideas or different, you know, things to think about as far as business posts.
Yeah, I love that you answered that question, Phallin, in the comments there, because you guys, I had a job. I wasn't full-time, but I was pretty close. I taught elementary PE 4 days a week, and I was busy. And I didn't have time, honestly, during the day. This was definitely a nooks and crannies job for me because I posted in between switching buildings, and I taught little kids, and then I couldn't be on my phone while I was teaching, and I had little kids at home, and I had to make supper and, you know, put them to bed. And Kevin had a job that, you know, went till 6 p.m. most nights, and he didn't want to like cook and do all that stuff when he got home. So I was busy. But you know what? Busy people go places. Busy people are productive people. They make things happen. And so you don't have to, like, don't assume that people wouldn't want to do what you're doing. You know, if you're more nervous about, you know, your people from your work seeing what you're doing, you don't want them to know that you want to quit your job. Well, that's a whole other conversation. And I could probably have that conversation because I did have a little fear of that. Like I didn't really know that I was going to quit teaching until I got to the point where my salaries matched, and I was like, okay, this is like for real. I can actually be done. And that was a beautiful place to be. But when I started, I just shared what I was learning, and you just share, you know, you share about the products, but share about the business as much. And I love too, making it real and personal, the things that you're, you know, what you're able to buy, the things that you do. But if you see the successful people and you want to go there, there's nothing wrong. There's people that have 2 jobs and multiple streams of income all the time. Like there's nothing wrong with having another side gig. You know, people do that a lot. I actually worked in a coffee shop while I was teaching too, and nobody condemned me for that, you know, and I was coaching at the same time. So I'm telling you, you can post about this stuff, and there's plenty of people out there that are struggling. And I love that. Don't assume, because we're living paycheck to paycheck. And if you can share with them what this opportunity is, and they can do it from their couch, you know, at night after the kids go to bed or during their lunch hour or whatever, that's pretty attractive, rather than having to put on a different change of clothes, drive to a different job, working 4 to 6 to 10 hours, having to go home. I mean, this is a pretty sweet gig, you know, a job that you can do from anywhere, you know. So don't assume, you know, and make it real clear that this is an opportunity that anybody can do.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I didn't give the impression that I was quitting being a mother to do Plexus or some other businesses that we're running right now. You can make it look however you want. You don't have to say, oh, I'm going to quit my job and retire my husband if that's not what you're trying to do. So like Sal said, go and look for other people, maybe diamonds, who are doing what you want to do with your life, or someone you can relate to, and see how they're posting. Something else to decide how to post is look at 2 posts. Like which one would attract you to this opportunity? Because sometimes we can write a post and think, oh, that was good. But if we look at something else, that's how we decide, like, yeah, I should be posting like that. That's what would attract me. So especially when I was starting, the very forefront on my mind of every single post, and even now, is what kind of person am I going to attract? And am I going to attract anybody? Is what I am doing attractive to somebody or not? And then also, Another thing that is a good idea with the business is look like you are doing something and that you are being professional. I have seen people who aren't even gold yet talk about they went to Super Saturday. They had their luggage there. They had their pink drink. You would have thought they were a boss babe already, and they're just getting started. They're excited. They believe in themselves. And when you believe in yourself, other people will follow. I remember I'd take a picture of my planner with my pink drink and getting business cards out and on my laptop, and I can work from anywhere. That's an easy post. I love my job. I can work from the playground, or I can work in the pickup line to get my kids. Those kind of things are business posts. You're slowly showing people what your life looks like. You can make it sound like, you're busy. Like I just got off a call with mentors that shows support from the team and leadership and training. There's so many things that you can do. You don't even have to look at diamonds, because a lot of diamonds are in their social media different than someone who's in the earlier growing phases. But we have a lot of rubies on the team, a lot of senior rubies. They might be a good place to look and see what they are doing. And that's the easiest way to learn, is to just kind of copy what they're doing, not copy and paste necessarily, like they said. So the other thing, learning to tell a story is good too. So don't just do a lot of facts, tell a story. Like I remember when I took my kids to buy shoes with my first paycheck, or I remember when I was able to pay my electric bill, those kind of things. Or, like Elizabeth said in the comments, groceries are really expensive right now. So thankful for my Plexus business. So that brings us into the next point of treating this like a business. You have to treat this like a business, a real business, in order to get paid like a business. And I'm guessing that this is safe to say to everyone who is on this call, because we still want to meet people where they're at, right? If they're happy to be silver or they're happy to just stay at gold income, that's fine. But I am guessing that you guys are on here because you want to grow further and beyond that. So if you treat this like a business, it's going to pay like a business. And I believe that with all of my heart. So the first step is to stop overthinking. Stop overthinking everything that there is out there, all of the information that there is. You need passion and you need excitement. You need belief in what you're doing. And that is going to take you a very, very long ways.
Mm-hmm. I want you guys to comment. Has anybody who's had a job in general? It could have been high school. It could be now. It could have been prior to Plexus or prior to kids, whatever. Who's had a job? Everyone probably has had jobs, right? I dare imagine you would not even think of not showing up one day to work when you were scheduled to work. Am I right? Like that wouldn't even cross your mind. Like, and if you were sick, you might call off sick. But other than that, you don't just not show up. And if you come to work, you don't just come and sit there and do nothing all day at work and not do your job, right? So if you are treating this like a business, you guys, do you have days where you don't show up, right? We have to show up. Now, I'm not talking about working 7 days a week, working 12-hour days all the time, right? But what does it look like to show up for your business? Because you have to determine that. It does not look like scrolling social media and feeling like you're working all day and then not getting the things that you need to get done. So working now is what you are doing to get to where you're going as a diamond. So working now might bring you in the paycheck that you're doing now, but remember that the work you're putting in now is giving you a 6-figure income. That's what you're doing right now, because you know what's coming. You're bringing that 6-figure income. You're bringing that $1 million income down the road, because that is why you are working right now. If that is what your vision is, if that's where you're going. So if you imagine building $1 million business right now, as the work that you're putting in going to bring that about, right? And only you can answer that for yourself. We have the privilege of not doing our own startup business like a corporate job, right? Because those people would be, in real corporate world, you'd be going broke. You'd be spending your days and nights there. You'd be canceling all your vacations. You'd be, living your life to start this startup job. And it's hard, but it doesn't have to be that hard, but we do have to treat it like a business. We do have to show up. So when you turn that around and you start showing up for yourself and you show up for what is to come, then that will absolutely make a difference in your business, because you're not just going through the motions. You're not just checking a box to the bare minimum. You're excited to see what more you can do. You're seeing how can I add value as a leader? Because you guys are all leaders, you have teams. How can I show up more? What do I need to read more? What do I need to do more? It's not doing the bare minimum, because you are treating it like a business. It's something that you own, something that you're excited about, something that you're creating. And that is going to absolutely impact how you show up for your job and what you do each day.
I've got nothing to add to that.
Boom. I was just going to say boom.
Mic drop.
Great. Yes, girl. Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
So true, Jamie. And that's the kind of belief that you have to have. That's what you want to your people under you or people to see in your post is, but like, that is what she said. And that can take time. So part of it is people are watching right now to see if you are going to keep going with this, because I can probably guess that every woman in America has tried network marketing at some point. May go back to Mary Kay or Tupperware or wherever they were, or whatever they're doing, but I can guarantee you they've all been suckered into doing something like this by one of their friends. And you know what? They quit because they weren't treating it like a business. They didn't really understand how far they could take this. So they just gave up on themselves. So some things that can help you with working with your people are systems, how to follow up, working closely with people. You kind of, at your level and where you're at and the people you're bringing in, don't assume like, yep, she's got it all figured out. You really want to hold their hands. I have said for years that until Ruby level, people really need their hands to be held. So you guys definitely have silvers and maybe some golds on your team. You need to be holding their hands. You need to be in close contact with your people who are working, because these boom kind of talks, those are the kind of talks you should be having with them every day. When someone comes to them and they're discouraged because, oh, I posted and I got a hater on there, that's going to happen. But you're there to, you know what, girl, I had the same thing happen to me, and it's okay. Be there to be that voice of reason and that reassurance and that support system that your team needs. That is what you do. That's how you create your culture. Team pages is something else that's really, really important. I think we touched on that last week, but get your people into the team pages so that they can see everything that's going on, so that they can be plugged in. My sponsor always told me to stay connected to Plexus culture. So staying on the team calls, doing book club and talking to my people, seeing Plexus posts, commenting, adding value, that kept me connected to eating, sleeping, breathing Plexus. So I was constantly in a state of positivity. I was seeing the testimonies. I was in the gut health groups. I was watching the trainings. I was excited about it. I still get excited. I just told Jamie this week, I'm like, ProBio 5 is a really good probiotic. I'm noticing that I up my dose here and I feel great. So these kind of things, make sure your excitement level is there. Getting on calls with your sponsor, that's another thing that's really important too. You guys have anything else to add on those kind of systems, or do you want to start talking about fears?
I don't know. That was really good too. And we have systems. That's the thing, is when we started, there wasn't a lot of systems. I mean, we did what Phallin told us to do, and what Phallin told Tiffany, and Tiffany told Jamie and Sue and Sal and me, and it's very rare that you're going to find a self-starter rock star. Don't wait for that person, because it is really way more fun to hold somebody's hand and to check in on them. Yeah. Eventually they will take off, but you're going to have to help them. And that's okay. That's fun. It's fun to be needed, and, cause they will need you, and that's exciting, and it adds value to you. But yeah, just make sure everybody's always plugged in. I know for me at the beginning, I didn't think I needed that. Cause I was busy, right? I had a job and I wasn't quite sure where this was going to go. But once I got plugged into things and I saw what Pink Power had to offer and got to meet all of these girls, both online and then in person, I was just, you can't beat it. And you all know you're here, right? You know what our culture is. We are so grateful for the leaders that we have and what we've learned from each other. So plug people into that, really talk that up and be excited about it. Because I guarantee if they get plugged into team calls and book clubs and do things in the team pages, and they're gonna be hooked. They aren't gonna want to stop. So that is absolutely key.
So, go Sal.
No, go. I was just gonna say, I totally agree with that because that was a huge part of my journey too. Like it was vital. I mean, I was in the team pages. I made a point of, being on the calls and all of that, and I wouldn't be where I am today. And it helped me so much as a person grow, but it also modeled for my team what's supposed to be done to be successful too. If you're showing up, if you're adding value into the team page, if you're welcoming people in the team page, all the things, then that's modeling what to your team what to do too. And the quicker they get engaged and involved, the more successful they're going to be too. So yeah.
So really quick, because we're wrapping up the Crane Business Builder part, right, Val? So getting to your next rank for where you guys are at right now, you're simply helping someone go silver, helping some people go gold, whatever that looks like. Everyone's organization is different, but you can do that because you have already done that yourself, right? So the biggest thing is being able to change your verbiage. If you are someone who tries to, maybe you're hesitate yet to bring up the opportunity in whatever form that looks like. Two things. One, being able to talk big picture about where you're going, but also if someone's not ready for that, then just help them get one accountability partner, help them go silver. At this point, excitement is contagious. Just help people do something and move forward a little bit, right? But how you do that, you have to offer that in different times. You have to offer that before they join. That was a part of the process naturally. When we were talking to people to start with the products, I was also talking, and you can do what I'm doing and share and, make some money, extra spending cash or cash for your products or whatever that looks like. It was part of the conversation before they even joined. When they join and you're on the phone, you're asking them, who do you know that, since we've been talking, that could benefit from using these products as well. And then stop and listen and wait for an answer. And sometimes it can be hard to do that. Ask me how I know. I'm a person that was definitely more passive versus direct in my language. So I would maybe, just in general in life, I guess, like if something makes me nervous, I might mention something, but, not wait for, you avoid the awkwardness, right? But if you avoid the awkwardness in this, then you're missing an opportunity to help someone get started right away. So instead of just quickly skirting by, and you can make some extra cash this month, let me know if that sounds good. And then you keep talking, then that's not really giving them an opportunity. That's being passive. So if you catch yourself trying to do that, stop, figure out how you can change what you're saying to make it a question, and then ask the question and wait. And that's how you start changing your verbiage from being passive and being direct and offering that at different times. The follow-up with this is the same as follow-up with the products. You have to follow up with helping people, put up a first post or share when they got excited that they had some health results. Ask them if they'd be willing to do something, or if that sounds good, not even willing, because that sounds like scary or something, but just be excited and ask the questions. And that's the biggest thing that you can do. Like Phallin said at the beginning, if we overcomplicate things, then it seems so hard to get to that next rank, but it's not, right? All you have to do is help someone do what you just did, and then help someone else do that. So it's just being excited about why you even started in the first place and what you even did in the first place, and helping people do the same.
I remember when I was gold and I looked at the point, I can't even hold on to 100 points and I need 4,500 points here. Wow. That is intense. And I stopped myself instantly because I know how I am. I get really overwhelmed, like moving or organizing the whole kitchen. Wow, I cannot handle it. And I just want to shut down. I want to go crawl under the blankets and just be in my cozy little bed. That's what I want to do. So I stopped that thought and I was like, nope. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. All right, here we go. So I'm excited. I'm going to Diamond, but where am I going first? First, I am going to get to Senior Gold. How do I do that? All right, if I help 2 people do this and then 2 people do this, I'm Senior Gold. Perfect. I'm going to help them do this. Not getting into management mode, which we'll talk about that in a bit, but focusing on those small goals. And then once you hit that goal, you can look to the next one. And that is literally all we did. Baby step all the way up to Diamond. And now the Diamond points are like pennies in my point pool here. So it's not a huge deal once you get going. But for now, it might be like, wow, that's a little scary. I don't really want to think about that. Don't think about it. Just know that's where you're going, but don't make it so complicated. Okay. So getting on 3-way calls with your sponsor is really important. Really important, getting that new person on the phone. So if you're signing them up on the phone, which totally changed my business when I heard another Diamond say to do that. This was way back at Gold. I was like, oh, this training is going in the team page. This is really good. And so that's what we started doing. This is working for these Diamonds. This is what we're going to do. And so if you're on the phone when you're signing them up and then you get them on a call with your sponsor, they're kind of already used to getting on the phone. And I was not a phone person. Okay, I didn't realize I was a phone person. Now I'm definitely a phone person. If I'm home alone, I'm calling. Nobody answers. I'm like, where are all my friends? I need some more friends. So I think that you guys get over that fear of the phone. It might be a bigger issue nowadays, but because we text so much, but if I could get on the phone and I was afraid to even order my own food at a restaurant and I'd make my sister do it because I hated talking to people. If I can do it, you guys can do it. And that's all you need to know. You need to just do it. So fears. One of the first fears people have is getting on the phone for some weird reason. I don't know. We just keep having that come up. And you guys have to realize that if you had 100% belief in what you were doing, you are going to make it happen no matter what. So imagine if you're going snow skiing and you're standing at the top of the hill and you're standing there and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to go down this hill. How do you get down the hill? You just do it. You literally push yourself forward and down you're going. You're doing it. But the longer you stand at the top of that hill and you're like, oh my gosh, what if I hit that person and there's a tree over there? And what if there's a patch of ice? Or what if I make a fool of myself? Am I going to break my neck? How are we going to get an ambulance? Whatever your brain is thinking, and you don't just do the thing, that's holding you back. So you need to just go and do it. Let go of your fears. If you really believed in this business and what you were doing and where you were going, if your sponsor told you to do something, you would do it. So Cody, I don't know, she hasn't talked about this lately, but she might be a little embarrassed if I say this. I don't know, but she said it publicly before, so it's okay. But both of us were absolutely petrified to get on an airplane as adults. Just like she couldn't even walk to her mailbox. She was so afraid she would poop her pants. I was so afraid to get on the airplane because I thought I would throw up. So we got on this airplane together. We were Senior Gold in Ruby and went to an Eric Worre event in Las Vegas. And we thought we were the stuff, but we were really scared. We were both afraid of it coming out one end or the other, but we did it because we wanted to be successful. I'm pretty sure she was crying in her seat, and we were adults, grown adults, just petrified. But why did we do it? Because we wanted to be where we're at today. And our belief was bigger than our fear. So if you're afraid of the phone or the posting or whatever, the only way to get over it is to just do it. So stop overthinking it. Get your belief there. Jamie's always said, whenever they told me to do something, I'm just going to say yes. Probably because she knew she would be like, I don't know. So she just made it her mission. I will say yes to whatever they tell me to do. So that brings me to another point, getting to events. How important are events for belief and our growth, you guys?
Huge. Huge. 100%. Yeah, there's no way I would believe or have the growth that I had if I didn't get to events. I mean, I remember thinking about skipping my first convention and I don't really need that. is kind of, a little bit extra money, and I don't know if I can take time away from my kids and my other job and stuff like that. But girls and guys, it's so important to get to those events. It changed the way I think, my belief, my confidence, getting together with like-minded people in the same area, hearing from our company, like our corporate leadership, and seeing really what they're all about. Really, really good people. I remember the first time Eric went to an event with me, it was Leaders Retreat in Texas, and he was just floored at our leadership and just the whole atmosphere and culture of Plexus. And it really does build your belief a lot. So I know sometimes it's hard to make plans and go to events, but you will never regret going to an event to build your business. And like Phal said, if you are 100% in and you are wanting diamond, like you have stated diamond as your end goal or whatever, you have to go to events, you guys. It's a non-negotiable. And I learned that really quickly because I didn't believe that at first either, but I 100%, it is very, very crucial to building a strong business.
I'm gonna, Sal, I love how you ended that, because you guys, again, speaking from somebody that had a job before, I had to go to teachers conventions. It was not an option. And half the time they didn't have anything for PE teachers for personal growth or anything. Sometimes I was the one leading the sectional at the conventions. But I would go to the Michigan PE, it's called MOPPERD is what it's a big acronym. But I would go to that every year. And you know what? That was, school would pay for part of that, but that came out of my pocket and we were always pinching pennies. But I knew if I didn't go, I wasn't going to grow as a PE teacher. I needed to do that for my profession. I had to be parts of other committees and other different groups. If you see this back to, is this your actual job? Are you treating this like your job? If you're treating this as a job, you're going to go to the events, and you can even create your own events, like have an event, have a team meeting. If there isn't a corporate, like we haven't had a corporate event, for a long time, make your own, like I had to do that. So I would have people over in my gym, set up a bunch of folding chairs, and we would just talk about the products and share our testimonies. That was our event. That built belief. You have to, if you can't get to, well, first of all, you got to go to the corporate events. You have to, that's non-negotiable. And this is coming from someone who didn't go to her first convention. Because in January, I didn't think it was going to be anything big for me. I was biggest FOMO ever. So I so wish that I had gone, because I know it would have grown a lot too. But you know what? In between all of those big events, create your own. And it doesn't take much, but create, and it will create culture with your team. It's huge. I mean, why do we do team calls and book clubs? For that purpose, to create culture, to learn from each other. But you got to go to events. Don't treat them like they're not a big deal. Convention, leaders retreat, Super Saturday, all of that stuff. You have to go anytime you can get to one, because if this is your job, if you have big dreams, that is what's going to get you there.
And it's not going to feel like work either. I've never been on a work trip. The only part that feels like work for me is still to this day getting on the plane. Once I'm there, I'm like, okay, I can stay now. I can stay a while. And usually I do stay extra all the work to get there. So it's so worth it. Personal growth is one of the biggest keys for your entire journey. And I know we're like, get joins, get the numbers, and you need the numbers to rank up. And that's what you see. But Sonia Dudley said, and I remember this at the beginning of my business, but she said that if you work on yourself as much or more than you do your business is going to actually grow. And that was all. I had that belief, right? So that's all I needed to hear. I'm like, okay, Lori, give me the stupid books. Because I didn't really think, I thought it might change me as a person, but I didn't realize I needed to change as a person to become the successful person I wanted to be. I didn't realize that. And I was successful in my own life, in my own ways, but I needed to learn and I needed to grow. And it was so, so, so important And it's one of the biggest things that I will hear from people who are now Jules even, and they will say, I didn't really think it was that important at the beginning. I thought Phallin was crazy for saying it, but it's the one thing that has changed my business. I just found out that was Sal too. It's the one thing that has changed my business more than anything else. It's the personal growth. So you don't just read a book and stop halfway through. You read the book and you apply. And then you read another book and you apply, and you get your girls to do it with you, and you're not doing it alone. And you talk to your sponsor, like, this was really good. You're underlining, you're highlighting. You should be hungry for knowledge to become a professional at your job. You've never done this before. You've never been a diamond before. So of course you're going to have to learn these things in order to be successful.
You guys, I'll go Sal. When I started, Tiffany and Phallin had told me to get on book club, and I don't remember them having to tell me that more than once. And that's not everyone's story, but that was something. It kind of went back to my mindset. Okay, whatever they say I have to do, I'm going to be doing, just because I knew it was going to be too easy, like Phallin pointed out earlier, for me to say no to scary things. So the second I knew that was important, I was on them, but I was also like planning it. And it goes back to treating it like a business and taking ownership. I was planning things around it. Now, granted, sometimes there are legit reasons that you may not be able to show for a call. I totally understand that. But that meant, for me, planning around it, when I wanted to get together with some friends and we're trying to figure out a date, I am saying, well, I can't Thursday nights and I can't Monday nights. Can we do Tuesday or Wednesday evening or the weekend, right? So when it was a date night or something that Bill was able to randomly hang out, can't Thursday nights, I can't Monday nights, or it was before or after, right? So I was very intentional moving forward, still am, in terms of, these are my business meetings I have to show up to, right? This is something I'm taking seriously. So that is the difference when you treat it like a business versus, oh yeah, I should be getting on these. Oh yeah, I'm gonna try and make most of these. If you find yourself saying the words try and make, or yeah, I should be, that's probably an indication that you need to change something, and it needs to be treated more like a business. I also want to say, when you are showing up, another thing I was doing is, that was my accountability to get my chapter done. And I made sure I got it done, because I knew at your guys' ranks that everyone's at right now, gold, senior gold, even beyond, I knew, okay, I have some people and I'm getting on, and I need to add value. I need to comment in the comments, or I need to unmute and talk, one of the two, or both, whatever. So that meant I needed my chapters read so I could add value in some way. So that was my cutoff. And I mean, I wasn't perfect. I didn't necessarily read it each day, moving up, building up to it. But I mean, you better believe, an hour before the call, I'm like, kids, you're on your own, or you need to be in bed, because I'm reading this and it is getting done before this call. And I still have sometimes those moments. Oh, Billy got the kids. I wasn't quite done my chapter. I'm reading. And it was a priority, because and you guys, I'm so thankful, at least for the sake of, maybe this is like my wing one or something, whatever, rule follower, but at least for that sake, I know it built me as a person, because the mindset books, the leadership books absolutely changed me and helped me develop to who I am now, and how I run my business, and how I work, how I show up, how I've grown through things, how I can work through the hard things. There are days I did not want to get on. I did not want to get on. I was exhausted, or I was like stressed out or whatever, but I did anyway. And I was always grateful I did. I always felt better after I did, and felt like it filled my cup. So that is, I guess, my big plug and my big message with that I think it is so important for your business. We don't just say it because we want you to like check something off a box. We say it because we know how good it is for you.
Yeah. And I just add to that, to hear it from one other diamond. If you haven't figured out how important this is by now, We're all sitting here preaching it to you. You guys, it's really important. I remember as a goal not feeling like it was very important. And it mostly was for me selfishness in my time. Like I didn't really think I needed to be on book club and give up my time to do that. And then I understood, I was getting a team under me. One person under you makes you a leader. Okay. So I was a leader, and what I was doing, they were going to do, right? So if I'm not showing up to book club, guess what? They're not going to show up to book club. If I wasn't engaging on book club and talking during book club or showing up to team calls or engaging in the team page, they're not going to either. So you have got to realize that you don't think they're watching, and they're going to duplicate exactly what you're doing. So I quickly realized that and start making it a priority. And along those lines, if you think about, we've been talking about like other careers and other jobs, if and you wouldn't get paid if you didn't show up, right? Just like that here, like this is a non-negotiable. Personal growth is. If you have a team call, it's like a meeting at work. Would you skip a meeting at work? No, you wouldn't, right? Because it's noticed and it's part of your job, and it's going to make you be a better leader. So that, and just like we were talking about earlier today, like a nurse, it's part of that puzzle. They get clinicals, right? If the nurse didn't go to clinicals, would it make them really good at their job? And would they learn how to do things that they had to? No, they have to be there. It's a non-negotiable, right? So just like this with Plexus, personal growth is a non-negotiable. You have to do it. It's going to grow you. It's going to, teach you to be a better leader in so many different aspects. It's going to give you confidence. You have to treat it like it's valuable. It is very valuable to your business. Okay. It's like a puzzle piece. If you don't have all the pieces together in a puzzle, it's not going to be complete. And this is one big piece of the puzzle with being successful in this business is personal growth and really taking action with it. Like Val said, or Jaime said, you can't just hop on book club and not have read the chapter. Right? Because what good is that going to do? You might glean a little bit from people who did read the chapter, but is it really applicable if you didn't read the chapter yourself, or you quit halfway, or, you have to do it all and you have to apply it and then take action with it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's so important, you guys. And that's why we say it over and over again. Grow yourself. And these calls, in case you haven't noticed, it's not a lot of skill set stuff. And even when we say like skill set, and by that, I mean by that is how to do it. Because your belief in your inner motivation and your desire to learn is what's going to propel you to do the how to. You're going to figure that out as you go. So, and you can also watch that from lots of training videos and stuff like that. But the main thing is have passion, have belief. As long as you have that, that is what is the most important thing. Be excited about what you are doing, and people will come with you. If you start to lose your excitement, it's probably because you're not plugged into the things, the resources, the team pages, the testimonies, and the calls. Those are the things. Or you're here, but you're not here. There are a lot of people who go to work just to go to work and do those meetings, but they're not really there with a hunger to let it change their business. Sometimes they think they got it all figured out. So we're going to wrap up here. And does anybody have anything else to add before I go into the homework?
I just want to I typed it, but I want to quick say for recording, don't be afraid to read an extra book. So be proactive. If you want to grow your leadership, if you got mindset stuff, go read a book on that. We have so many ones that are important. So go be proactive on that.
Yes. And at the end of the day, be coachable. That's the biggest thing. That's everything we're saying here. We have broke it down to the most important things that you guys need. So reevaluate yourself. There's no way you can be like, oh, I got all of it down. I'm doing all these things right. I couldn't even say that myself when we're coming up with trainings. Like, oh yeah, I need to work on that myself, but here's something they need to know. So for your homework, we want to know what your biggest takeaways have been from these masterminds, from these 3 weeks. What were your biggest takeaways? We're going to have you watch, we're going to post it in the comments or in the gold page. Somehow we'll get it to you guys. Christina Williams' video on building the business builder, something like that. I forget, but it's a really good video. You need to watch it and then give us your takeaways from that as well. And then we're going to have next week off because it's Valentine's Day, and then we'll come back to our regular group coaching. So that is the plan, and that is what to look forward to.
Adding on, Phallin, you said give away your biggest takeaways from the whole mastermind, and also how you're going to start implementing that in your business right now. I want to add on that.
Yes, what you're going to change, what you're going to do, what area you're working on strengthening right now. All right, guys, we will see you in a couple weeks for the group coaching.
Bye, guys.